Hi, this is Richard Campbell from .NET Rocks. I'm here at Dev Connections, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and I'm talking to the one and only Kimberly Tripp. Kimberly L. Tripp. The Kimberly Tripp.
Yeah, thanks, Richard.
You're all SQL Server all the time.
That's right. Absolutely.
And you work hard too. I mean, a lot of sessions.
Yeah, we tend. Yeah, this year's been maybe not my smartest of decisions.
Oh no.
No, I did a pre-con with Paul, and I did actually a pre-con with Paul. I did a pre-con with John Cahias, and you're going to chat with him soon. And I'm doing a post-con by myself.
Nice.
I've got 3 sessions. Paul has a few sessions. John has a few sessions. So yeah, we're doing quite a bit here at the show.
What topics do you focus on in SQL Server? Or do you cover the whole gambit? I mean, that's a lot of material.
Our team covers everything about SQL Server except BI. We don't really do a lot in the BI space. We tend to focus on performance tuning, architecture, virtualization, consolidation, but a lot in the area of performance tuning. That's probably, for some reason, what people are the most interested in. High availability disaster recovery, a lot of people don't think they need it until, of course, it's too late.
Right,
but
until they've had the disaster.
Exactly. But when it comes to performance tuning, everybody thinks, I need it to go faster.
Right.
I want to make this architecture as fast as possible. So that's what we tend to do the most. So a lot of our sessions focus on best practices, performance tuning, architecture, new features. We actually did a pre-con for 2012's new features.
Yeah, freshly out.
Fun. Yeah.
What do you like about 2012?
There's a lot of things I do like. There's a few things I wish that were in there, but that's every release that happens.
Not everything makes it in every time.
No. In fact, partitioning, I had hopes that a little bit more would make it in there. But column store indexing is something that I really like, and I've been looking at that quite a bit and looking at the ease of it. I mean,
again, your performance thing's coming out. You care about doing that faster.
I do care about performance, and the thing that I like the most about column store is it's easy. That's one of the things that I try to convey to people is you basically have one index, one column store index per table. You can't create any others. So you have one non-clustered index. You put all of the columns that you tend to use in your queries, not just one query, but in all of the different aggregates and large scan-based queries. You put them all into this one index, and then SQL Server defines individual indexes for the columns that it can use together to respond to the queries in kind of a batch mode processing method. So
does the order of the fields matter?
No. There's. I mean, that's why it's so easy. There's nothing to do.
Because we used to do composite indexes
this way.
way.
Yeah, you used to have to worry so much about what the key columns were, what the order of them was. Should you put it in the key? Should you put it in an include? With a column store index, you can only create one on the table, and the order of the columns in the column store index is irrelevant because, again, the columns are stored separately.
Interesting.
So there's like nothing to do. So a lot of people ask me, will I get a benefit from a column store index? Well, the biggest problem is that it's read-only, right? So it's really for data warehouses, relational data warehousing. And so if you're doing a lot of that, you really can't go wrong by creating one.
Right.
They're very likely to be highly compressed, so the amount of disk space that they take might not be a huge amount. So you can, in a data warehousing environment and a test environment, create one, test your workload, and see what its effects are. It's not like you have to create 18 indexes to see which one's going to be used by which queries. That's not it at all. It's like, is the column store index getting used? And then in the show plan, you can even see if it's being used with what's called batch processing. And the batch processing is a more optimal way. I know, I'm boring you already.
No. I'm thinking about how I would want to use this. It's good stuff, right?
Yeah, so a lot of aggregates.
But is there a performance impact on insert, update, delete?
Well, there's none. Remember, it's read-only.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
so when does it get updated as I change it around?
Yeah, so if you have a data warehouse, you're usually, I hope, partitioning.
Right.
And if you're partitioning, then what you can do is bring that new data set in. Like, let's say we're very close to April now, so when March's data becomes available, we can actually bring that over, load that like we would in a normal partitioning scenario, build all the indexes, including a column store index, and then switch it in. And then what we end up having is basically that new data, the March data, available for our partition table, but the rest of the partition table is read-only. So you can do switch in and switch out.
Yeah.
You just can't do inserts, updates, and deletes.
But I like the idea that this encourages us to do more partitioning. You may want to start partitioning that table by the day, just so that you have this better indexing system on that no longer changing journal data.
And since you said that, I will tell you about the one feature in partitioning that is kind of interesting, and it is a 2012 RTM feature, although you can use it in 2008 SP2 or R2 SP1, which is ridiculous, right? Or 2012 RTM, which is 15,000 partitions are now supported. So if you do want to partition by day, you could actually do that and very easily load that data in day by day, add it into the partition table, and have however many days worth of data you've already got on hand in your partition table, read-only, and with a column store index.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty
so it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Kim, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks, Richard.